Have you ever wondered why sexual energy is so powerful, yet often misunderstood and even feared? Is there something deeper and more mystical to this human drive than society teaches us? Imagine for a moment that the very essence of creation is directly connected to sexual energy. What if you discovered that this hidden power has the ability to shape your reality in ways you never imagined? Most of us, from childhood, are taught to see sexuality as something exclusively linked to physical pleasure or procreation. But what if I told you that at the heart of sexuality lies a potential that transcends the body? What if this energy was actually the key to unlocking spiritual forces within you, forces capable of creating, healing, and transforming your life in a radical way? Today, we're going to explore a truth that has been kept in the shadows, a truth that ancient civilizations and spiritual masters tried to hide. Sexual energy, far from being a mere biological necessity, is an esoteric tool, a primal force with the power to transmute our existence. It's not just an animal instinct, it's the foundation for spiritual awakening. But most of us live without understanding how to use this power, and that's where the mystery comes in. Because over the centuries, teachings about the true nature of sexual energy have been distorted, silenced, or simply ignored. Civilizations like the Egyptians, Hindus, and Western alchemists understood something profound about this energy, something that has been lost in time. Now it's time to unearth this knowledge and look beyond the surface. If you're ready to understand what no one has told you about sexual energy and how it can change your life, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Don't let this chance pass you by. Awakening to this truth can be the first step on a path of self-knowledge and spiritual evolution. Join me now as we explore the hidden truth about sexual energy and how it is a force capable of shaping the destiny of any human being if used with wisdom and awareness. To understand the depth and power of sexual energy, we must look to ancient civilizations and how they viewed this mystery. What did they know that has been hidden from us over time? Sexual energy is not a modern phenomenon or something limited to biology. It is the key to life, to the flow of universal energy that permeates all creation. In many ancient cultures, sexual energy was revered as one of the greatest mysteries of the universe. The Egyptians, for example, believed that the life force of all creation was connected with sexual energy. They saw it as an expression of the primordial god, Atum, who generated everything in the universe from the act of divine creation. This creative power was not only physical, but spiritual. The Vedic tradition of India also offers a deep understanding of this energy. The yogis of ancient India understood that sexual energy was directly linked to spiritual awakening. In tantric philosophy, sexual energy is not just a pursuit of pleasure, but a sacred practice of energetic transmutation. They spoke of Kundalini, the vital energy that resides at the base of the spine, waiting to be awakened. When this energy is directed to the upper chakras through conscious sexual practice, it transforms into a powerful force of spiritual enlightenment. In addition, European alchemists during the Middle Ages understood the sexual act as a metaphor for the transformation of the soul. For them, sexual union represented the fusion between spirit and matter, an alchemical process aimed at the transmutation of being. They used sexuality as a tool to achieve the great work, spiritual enlightenment. When sexual energy was controlled and elevated through meditation and inner work, it became a transformative force, capable of healing and generating a new reality. What is revealing, however, is that throughout history, many of these truths have been covered up or distorted by institutions that feared the transformative power of this energy. The control of sexuality was, in many moments, a means of social control, preventing access to knowledge that could allow the awakening of each human being to their true potential. In some traditions, sex was considered something dirty or sinful. diverting attention from its true power and importance. The result of this is that even today, many people have a distorted or superficial view of sexual energy. Modern society tends to reduce sexuality to something purely physical and biological, ignoring its profound spiritual implications. But what if this perspective was just the tip of the iceberg? That's exactly what we're going to explore now. There is a hidden dimension to sexual energy that most of us have never been taught to see, but that can be the key to a more fulfilling, healthy, and enlightened life. Sexual energy is, in its essence, a primal force that transcends mere physical attraction or desire. It is, in fact, the manifestation of a cosmic energy that permeates all aspects of existence. To fully understand its potential, we must cast aside the layers of shame, guilt, and ignorance that have been imposed upon it, and turn our gaze back to the ancient traditions that saw it as a key to spiritual elevation. The first thing to understand about sexual energy is that it is not simply an impulse or a biological need. It is the fundamental creative force of the universe, something that expresses itself in different ways but is always present in all living beings. As the Tao teaches, sexual energy is the manifestation of yin and yang, the essential balance between the feminine and the masculine, between matter and spirit. In the ancient mysteries, sexual energy was considered sacred. In ancient Egypt, for example, the sexual act was seen as a replica of the creative act of Atum, the primordial god, who by masturbating generated the first gods and goddesses, giving rise to the cosmos. The connection between sexuality and creation was not merely physical, but spiritual. The human body was seen as a temple where divine energy circulated, and sexuality was the key to releasing that energy. In the tantric tradition, this sacredness was amplified. Tantric practice involves controlling sexual energy, transmuting it into spiritual energy. Here, sexuality is not just a path to pleasure, but a spiritual practice aimed at enlightenment. Tantric sex, for example, seeks to prolong the sexual act to reach heightened states of consciousness, where sexual energy is not only experienced, but used to transcend physical limitation and achieve union with the divine. What we often forget, and what has been hidden from us, is that sexual energy is a tool for self-realization. When controlled and directed consciously, it is capable of creating not only physical life, but a higher spiritual life. The flow of sexual energy and the chakras. Each of us possesses an energy system, and the point of origin of sexual energy resides in our root chakra, Muladhara, located at the base of the spine. This chakra is the center of our physical vitality, but it is also where creative energy originates. When this energy is awakened, it rises along the spine, activating the upper chakras and allowing for spiritual ascension. The tantric tradition and various schools of esoteric thought speak about the awakening of Kundalini, the serpent of energy that resides at the base of the spine. When this energy is awakened, whether through conscious sexual practice, meditation, or other forms of transmutation, it rises through the chakras, purifying each of them until it reaches the crown chakra, the highest point of consciousness, where union with the divine occurs. In alchemy, sexual energy is compared to the fire of creation. The process of transmutation, in which the base metal is transformed into gold, is a metaphor for the internal work necessary to transmute sexual energy, a raw energy, into a refined spiritual energy. This does not mean simply repressing sexual desire, but learning to transform that energy into something higher, something that goes beyond the physical. The interconnection between sex, creativity, and manifestation. One of the most fascinating aspects of sexual energy is its direct relationship with creativity and manifestation. Many occult traditions teach that sexual energy is the foundation of our ability to create and manifest in the physical world. It is no coincidence that often, when we are in a state of desire or excitement, our minds are filled with ideas and creative visions. Sexual energy, when directed consciously, can be the force that drives creative projects, physical healing, and even the materialization of desires. In its essence, sexual energy is a form of manifestation. When you understand that this energy is more than just a biological function and begin to direct it intentionally, you activate your creative power. The power of manifestation is not limited to simple desire, but involves a deep alignment between the body, mind, and spirit. When these three aspects are in harmony, sexual energy transforms into a powerful force of creation. The misconception of sexual repression. Now, many of you may be wondering, but then, should we simply seek unlimited sexual expression? The answer is not so simple. True wisdom lies in balance. Sexual repression, which many of us experience due to cultural and religious conditioning, is not the answer. It creates energy blockages in the body, leading to emotional and spiritual imbalances. On the other hand, the unbridled pursuit of immediate pleasure without awareness or intention can also be destructive. What needs to be understood is that sexual energy must be conscious and intentional. Sex should not be seen only as a pursuit of physical pleasure, but as a sacred practice of union, both with another human being and with universal energy. When you are able to transcend the primal impulse and begin to direct this energy with purpose, you enter the realm of true spiritual alchemy. Here, pleasure is not just physical, but an expression of the divine. Now that we have unveiled the philosophical and spiritual aspects of sexual energy, it is time to transform this knowledge into practice. How can we, in the modern world, access this powerful force and use it to improve our lives, expand our consciousness, and create real changes in our being? Next, we will explore some of the main techniques that have been used throughout the centuries by spiritual masters to transmute and channel sexual energy, transforming it from a physical force into a powerful spiritual tool. 1. The path of Tantra, cultivating sexual energy with awareness. Tantra, a spiritual tradition that originated in India, is one of the best-known practices for working with sexual energy in a conscious way. Contrary to what many think, Tantra is not just about sex, but about the unification of body, mind, and spirit. Tantric practice is focused on expanding consciousness during the sexual act, transforming physical pleasure into a spiritual experience. One of the fundamental practices in Tantra is controlling and prolonging pleasure. This does not mean repressing desire, but rather expanding and prolonging pleasure until it transforms into a transcendental experience. During tantric sex, the goal is not orgasm, but the process of union with the divine, both within oneself and in the partner. By focusing on breathing, energy circulates more harmoniously between the chakras, allowing sexual energy to be distributed throughout the body, reaching heightened states of consciousness. Practical exercise, connected breathing. How to do it? Lie down or sit comfortably with your partner. Breathe together deeply and connectedly, feeling each inhale and exhale. As you inhale, feel the energy rising from the base of the spine, the root chakra, to the top of the head, the crown chakra. As you exhale, imagine this energy flowing out, filling the space around you. Repeat this exercise for 10 minutes, creating an atmosphere of full connection between the two of you. Objective: synchronized breathing allows the exchange of energy, connecting the body and mind and creating a sacred energetic flow. 2. The awakening of Kundalini, ascension of sexual energy. One of the most powerful practices in the esoteric tradition is the awakening of Kundalini, the latent energy that resides at the base of the spine. When this energy is awakened, it rises through the chakras, purifying and illuminating each one as it ascends. Although the awakening of Kundalini is often portrayed as a mystical and challenging event, it can be promoted gradually and controlled through focused spiritual practices. The key to the awakening of Kundalini lies in the conscious transmutation of sexual energy. Instead of allowing sexual energy to be dispersed at the moment of pleasure, it is maintained and directed upwards through the spine, activating the energy centers, chakras, along the way. This process of transmutation not only elevates sexual desire, but also awakens hidden potentialities of the mind and spirit. Practical exercise. The yogi posture. How to do it. In a lotus position or sitting comfortably, close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. Imagine sexual energy, like a golden flame, at the base of your spine. With each breath, visualize this energy rising, passing through the chakras, root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and finally, the crown of the head. Feel this energy expanding your consciousness, bringing a sense of inner power and enlightenment. Objective. The practice helps increase vitality, release blockages, and expand consciousness to higher spiritual states. 3. Sexual alchemy, transmutation of creative energy. At the heart of alchemy, sexuality and creation are intertwined. The transmutation of sexual energy is one of the oldest practices that symbolize the transformation of the vulgar into something sublime, of matter into spirit, of the physical into the divine. This practice, often associated with ancient alchemists, involves the use of sexual energy not only for pleasure, but for the creation of something new in our lives, be it a new idea, project, or even a new state of being. Practical exercise, Philosopher's Stone meditation. Okay, here's the translated text, adjusted for a US audience where appropriate. How to lie down in a comfortable position and close your eyes. Visualize a container, like a chalice or goblet, at the base of your spine, where all your sexual energy is concentrated. Imagine this energy transforming into golden or red light. As the energy rises up your spine, it transforms into a golden, luminous substance, like the Philosopher's Stone. Imagine this light filling your entire body, activating your creativity and mental clarity. Objective. This exercise helps transform sexual energy into a creative force that can be applied to any area of your life, especially your projects, ideas, and goals. 4. The energy of the sun and moon cult, balancing masculine and feminine principles. Another fundamental aspect of sexual energy is the balance between the masculine and feminine principles that reside within each of us. In esotericism, sexual energy is seen as the union of opposites, yin and yang, sun and moon, masculine and feminine. This balance is vital for harmonizing sexual energy and awakening the deepest potential of our soul. The sun represents the active, masculine, creative, and external principle, while the moon symbolizes the receptive, feminine, intuitive, and internal principle. When these two aspects are in harmony, the flow of sexual energy is optimized, allowing for a state of union both with a partner and with universal energy. Practical exercise. The sun and moon cult. How to meditate on the sun and the moon, visualizing these two archetypes in your mind. Imagine the sun representing your creative and active force, while the moon represents your intuition and receptivity. Bring both aspects into your sexual and energetic life, recognizing where you may be more centered on one or the other. As you practice, seek to integrate both principles into your actions and thoughts. Objective. Create balance between masculine and feminine energies within yourself, promoting harmony both in relationships and in the creative process. 5. the power of touch and deep connection. Finally, we cannot forget that sexual energy is also deeply linked to touch and connection. Through conscious touch, we can awaken and transfer energy to other people, or simply experience a deep state of union and belonging. Practical exercise. The energy touch. How to? With your partner or alone, focus on the act of touching, not with the goal of seeking immediate pleasure, but with the intention of transferring energy. When touching a part of the body, imagine energy flowing between you and the other person. Feel how the energy moves, comes into balance, and strengthens the connection. Objective: use touch to create an exchange of sexual and spiritual energy, promoting healing, balance, and true intimacy. Now that we have explored practices for channeling sexual energy consciously, the transformation of this force into a powerful spiritual practice depends on your commitment to the journey. The transmutation of sexual energy is not just about achieving physical pleasure. It is about understanding that this energy can be used to create, to heal, and to elevate the soul to higher states of consciousness. Now that we understand the power of sexual energy and the methods to transmute and use it consciously, the question arises: how can we integrate these mystical and spiritual practices into our daily lives? It is not enough to have access to this ancestral knowledge. It is necessary to apply, internalize, and experience this energy constantly and naturally. In modern society, where sex often becomes just a physical activity or a relentless pursuit of fleeting pleasure, we often forget that it can be a gateway to our deepest power and our true essence. The key is to awaken to the present moment, learn to sustain sexual energy, and use it not only for pleasure, but to create a richer and fuller reality. 1. Cultivating sexual awareness in daily life. The true transformation of sexual energy begins with awareness. This means being present in your own desires, emotions, and the flow of this energy during the day. Often we are ignorant of the power we carry within us. We begin to believe that sexual energy is just something physical or something that occurs only in the bedroom. However, it is always with us, flowing through our bodies, minds, and even in everyday interactions. Practical exercise. The sexual presence technique. How to? Throughout your day, take a few moments to pause and breathe deeply. During this pause, focus on the sensation of energy that is in your body. Imagine that with each breath, you are bringing this energy to the center of your body, and from there, it spreads throughout your being. This doesn't have to be done in a sexual context, but rather as a way to reconnect with your inner vitality and power. Objective: increase your presence and connection with your sexual energy during the day, creating a constant flow of vitality that transcends the physical moment and becomes a force of balance and energy for your actions. 2. Transmutation of emotions, using sexual energy for emotional healing. Sexual energy, when misunderstood or repressed, can result in emotional and psychological disturbances. However, when it is consciously transmuted, it has the power to heal the deepest emotional wounds. Many ancient spiritual traditions speak of healing through sexual energy. This happens when we use sexual energy to release emotional blockages, traumas, or destructive patterns that may be stored in our energetic body. Practical exercise, the inner sexual healing. How to? Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Breathe deeply and imagine that as you inhale, you are bringing in a purifying energy. As you exhale, visualize this energy flowing out of your body, taking away any repressed or negative emotions such as anger, fear, or sadness. With each breath, imagine this sexual energy being transmuted into a golden or white light that cleanses and heals your being. Objective: transmute sexual energy for emotional healing, unlocking traumas and creating space for new emotional vitality. 3. Sexual energy as a source of creativity. Sexual energy is the fundamental creative energy of the entire universe. In many ancient cultures, sex was seen as one of the greatest sources of creativity, not only for the creation of new beings, but for the creation of new thoughts, ideas, and projects. Instead of seeing sexual energy as something restricted to physical reproduction, we must understand that it is the key to creating in all aspects of life, whether in the artistic, professional, or spiritual field. Practical exercise, creative meditation with sexual energy. How to: sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes. Place your hands on your solar plexus, the center of your creative power, and breathe deeply. Imagine that as you inhale, you are collecting sexual energy from your entire body, and as you exhale, it transforms into creative ideas, new projects, or even a new perspective for your life. Feel how this creative energy expands within you, allowing you to give shape to something new and meaningful. Objective: use sexual energy to unlock the creative flow and manifest new possibilities in your life. 4. Cultivating deep and transformative relationships. For many, sexual energy is something that is fully expressed in an intimate relationship. However, the quality of this energy can be amplified when approached with intention and respect. The deepest relationships are not only based on physical attraction or momentary pleasure, but on the ability to share and transmute sexual energy between partners, creating a spiritual union that goes beyond the flesh. Practical exercise, the ritual of conscious sexual connection. How to: in a safe and intimate environment, preferably with a partner who shares the same values, dedicate time to connect on a deep level without haste or expectations. Look into each other's eyes for a few minutes with total presence and intention. Breathe together in a synchronized way, feeling the sexual energy move between you. During the act, avoid focusing only on pleasure, but on the experience of spiritual union. Objective: create a sacred space where sexual energy transforms into a vehicle of transcendence, healing, and true connection. 5. Transforming fear and shame, freeing yourself from the chains of repression. Modern society, with its rigid norms and taboos regarding sex, often fuels fear and shame around sexual energy. These feelings not only suppress pleasure, but also impede the free and healthy flow of this energy. The first step to liberation is to recognize these blockages and face them with compassion and courage. Practical exercise, liberation of sexual energy. How to: close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. Imagine that with each exhale, you are releasing all the fear and shame that you carry about your sexuality. Visualize these emotions as a dark smoke that dissipates as you connect with your true sexual and creative essence. Say to yourself, I am free to live my sexuality in a full and true way. Objective: release fear and shame, creating an internal space of acceptance and freedom for the healthy expression of sexual energy. The journey continues, the awakening of sexual energy on the spiritual path. Now that you know the techniques and principles to awaken and channel your sexual energy consciously and transformatively, the next step is to integrate these practices into your daily life. The true power of sexual energy lies not only in the momentary experience, but in the ability to use it to transcend physical limits and access a deeper and richer spiritual reality. The journey of awakening sexual energy is continuous and has no end. As you open yourself to it, new doors of understanding and experience will open, leading you to a deeper understanding of yourself and the universe. Remember that true freedom comes when you begin to harness sexual energy in a divine way for your spiritual evolution and for the creation of a full and enlightened life. If you felt a deep connection with this content and want to continue your journey of self-discovery, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your experience in the comments. We are just beginning to explore the mysteries of the universe and the energy that is within our reach. Until the next video, where we will unveil even more hidden and powerful truths for your awakening.